Greetings, Taekwondo family. Actually, it's my last one of the season. I should go greetings one more time. Welcome to Miami Minutes, the show that escaped from Miami minute by minute. We did it.
We did it, baby. Well, we ain't there yet. We ain't there yet. But...
Almost. We're nearly done. We're nearly at the end. I am one of your hosts, John Parker, for the next to final time.
And yeah, I am here to conquer the ninja, as we'll get into. It's me, Niall McGowan.
That sounded a bit sort of sexual.
It's like, I'm here to dominate the ninja.
Dominate the ninja. I mean,
they kept making them. They would have just got to that eventually. It's like, get out the thesaurus. How many ninja songs can we write? You know?
Yeah, well, no, cross it over with like, I don't know, get Pinhead involved. You know.
I think Pinhead did a little bit more than dominate. I have to say,
well,
he was kind of it was very assumed in that situation. It was like, yeah, of course I'm the Dom. It's happening right now. But
hey, it depends on your point of view. You know, some people are into that. We're going to be serious here today. We're here to talk about minute 86. The minute starts with a music store owner, and it ends with a Taekwondo producer of sorts.
But I suppose we should get to a little bit of the elephant in the room. So I believe last week, before I looked at the lyrics to the song that's playing,
yeah,
we were kind of going like, this seems a bit morose for like the triumphant ending of Miami Connection.
I think musically we were talking about more than the words.
Yeah. Looking at the lyrics, like, this 100% was Jim's eulogy song. And they just didn't change a goddamn thing about it.
I'm so glad you said that. I made a note about it. Like, this to me, it feels like this is the world of Jim dying. And it's singing about, like, his life, his death, where things are going. They haven't changed it one bit.
No, this is like, some of the lyrics I've written down here. One swift blow means eternity. Now your best days are memories. We see what's our destiny. We must defend the peace. But like, now your best days are memory. Like, one swift blow means eternity. That's saying, yeah, Jim. This is a eulogy to Jim. Jim died.
He died with one blow.
That was one blow. His best days are all memories now. So because he exists only in our memories. And then this seems to be indicating that like they were going to dedicate the rest of their, frankly, manic-looking lives. At the end of the previous minute, we had the whole thing about them going like, well, that's the end of that. No one's ever going to bother us again. And we thought that was weird phrasing. But I guess they're doubling on. But like, no, it's a happy ending. Because the lyrics to this song about like, we see what's our destiny. We must defend the peace. And then constantly talking about conquering the evil of the ninja. Is like, oh yeah, they're going to dedicate their lives to like going out and pursuing and like killing every ninja, I guess. Like, they're not. It's like a full. It's almost like it's like Jim was Thomas and Martha Wayne, and now the rest of Dragon Sound have become Batman in this version, where they're just like, yep, the rest of our lives now are making sure that no Jims ever die again.
Yet again, this movie, by doing this, made me think of Mortal Kombat. Because it's like the ending of Mortal Kombat, where it's like, oh, they've won. And at the last second, Shao Kahn appears. No, they haven't. Oh, it's all going to go crazy now. And that it's almost inferring like, yep, they're going to travel the land now. They're going to go out there. They're going to fight those fucking ninjas. They're never going to stop. They're bringing the peace.
Yeah. Again, like, we are bringing peace, unity, and prosperity to our new Dragon Sound empire.
Well, and also the last words are very inspiring, I thought. Because the song is called Taekwondo Family. And the last words are, we must conquer the evil of the ninjas, stop destruction that we see. In our lives, we fight for justice. We are Taekwondo Family. You have to say it that way because it rhymes then. Family. It's amazing. It's like, yeah, we're all together, even though Jim's dead.
I think they're kind of going like, no, it's a very it's not we are family and like we are family. Like it's very like we're family and you don't mess with our family. Like,
oh yeah,
it's very territorial, very protective, but like it is very. I think we said something like a variation on it, but like it's borderline. You could rework this into like a national anthem. But like a Soviet anthem or something where it's talking about like the
evil of the Nazis.
or something like that.
No, it's I mean, the actual Soviet national anthem for a while did have lyrics about the Nazis. After they beat them, Stalin added loads of lyrics. What's the exact bit? Hang on. Here you go. It says, "We fought for the future, destroyed the invader, and brought to our homeland the laurels of fame. Our glory will live in the memory of nations, and all generations will honor her name."
We are Taekwondo family. There you go.
We are Taekwondo family. Yeah.
Somebody actually went to, although I got notes, it's not Angelo who wrote the song, in fact, but...
No, right, when we get to that bit in a sec with the who wrote the songs, I was gobsmacked by some of them.
Well, I think they seem to be only mentioning a few. Like, I think Angelo did write, like, they don't... I don't know if we want to skip ahead to that, like, now, but, like, yeah, there's other songwriters and other performers mentioned. Yeah. Whereas we were under the impression that Angelo was doing all of it. It's like, no, I think it was, like, just Friends and Against the Ninja, things like that.
Yeah, he's got a couple next week in our final. There are some Angelo mentions there.
Like the ones you see him on stage performing, he performed. But, like, yeah, shockingly, some of the other ones he had nothing to do with. Like, not even, like, they've got multiple guitar players. He's not one of them. Like, it's crazy to find that out, like, the second to last minute. We knew there was a guy doing, like, ambient score and stuff. But, like, to find out that, like, no, like Escape from Miami and Taekwondo Family and stuff are all written by another guy. Like, what the hell? Where was he in the movie?
What especially blew my mind about that was, like, we know... Okay, number one, they sound like Angelo songs.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't sound like there's a difference. There's not a lack of continuity. And also, we've seen that documentary about the guys later.
Yeah.
And Angelo is there, like, writing a new song for Grandmaster Kim.
They never mention another guy. Unless he was just like, guy. Don't ever bring me up. Like, don't talk about me or my son ever again.
When Angelo's doing that song, it feels like this kind of stuff. It's just generic shit, like Taekwondo lyrics, isn't it? Like, what's he saying again? It's something very generic.
How dare you, generic shit, Taekwondo lyrics.
Well, you know, it's the same kind. You could slot it into any scene of this movie.
Although I think the tone of it is very singular. It does have it didn't feel right. Because I think it's even when there's a longing lilt in the singing. Like, it doesn't have the joie de vivre of some of the earlier songs.
Well, it starts off quite positive, but then it goes into the bit you mentioned about the blow, because the beginning says, "You search endlessly for your father, finding visions that we seek. Waited long for this moment, for our dreams to be complete."
I don't know how to call, like, getting a letter from him finding visions that we seek, you know?
Maybe it means, like, he looked in the mirror and he's like, you know, is this my dad's eyes looking back at me?
Or there's a previous, a deleted scene where Jim had a dream where he's in a red room and he saw his dad and he was talking backwards, but they backmasked the tape so it was him speaking backwards, but it was actually forwards. And it was really avant-garde and everyone loved it. And then they're like, nah, let's not do that. And then, like, 3 years later, they saw David Lynch doing it. They're like, what the hell, man? That was our vision.
Turns out the only copy of this around was Lynch's copy. That wouldn't surprise me in a weird way. I bet David Lynch has the strangest film collection.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what I love about him, though. They did that whole documentary on him recently about his obsession with The Wizard of Oz. Like, it's literally like a 2-hour documentary just talking about David Lynch and how much he freaking loves The Wizard of Oz.
It's nuts, isn't it? Like, because people, when I say that, some listeners might think, oh, yeah, well, David Lynch, he makes weird movies. I don't mean weird in that way.
No.
I think weird in the sense of, like, films you wouldn't think he would watch. That's what I reckon most of the things you think he watches, he doesn't have.
Well, that's the thing, like, because so much of Twin Peaks as well is, like, it's deliberately commenting on, like, you can't imagine that guy sitting around watching Mad Men or Breaking Bad or any of that stuff, and then you watch, like, Twin Peaks: The Returns, very much like it. No, he's directly referencing those shows. Like, the whole thing of Twin Peaks itself it's a commentary on TV shows while being a TV show. So it's why the original show was a mixture of all different genres, and it had a soap within the soap that it already was and stuff. It's like he was always commenting on TV that he watched and knew a lot about. But you wouldn't think about him sitting around watching Sunset Beach. or Days of Our Lives, but he was,
I bet he absolutely was. I could imagine him there watching Tropic Thunder. All these things.
Or just in the theater by himself watching Miami Connection, like, oh my God, I'm taking this one for myself.
Yeah, he bought the reel there and then.
There's no projection. There's no projection. So he just went up and took it.
Yeah, why not? Nobody else wanted it. Grandmaster Kim had walked out. No, he didn't. Listeners, he didn't walk out. That's a joke.
He was the captain going down that ship. No one else was there. Freaking turns out there's a songwriter doesn't even want anything to goddamn do with the movie. So,
you know what? If I made a movie and I was the only one in that cinema, I would go down with it, baby. I'd sit there for every second of it, even if I'm not really watching it.
It must be so intense though, with like in terms of like, because we have to promote a lot of our own stuff, but like. We just kind of do it like once or twice, and then it's just like, all right, that's out, and you leave it. You don't want to bug people.
And you feel like a dick doing it once or twice.
Yeah. It was like when the Robert Pattinson's The Batman came out.
Yeah.
And then finally people wanted to talk to me about Batman. And I was like, wow, I'm ready for this. Like, what do you want to know? Like, I was all over it. The song, like, I think, go back, you're saying like, oh, generic shitty taekwondo song.
No, I meant the one he's doing in the documentary's generic.
Oh, okay. But
this one,
I was going to sort of leap to your defense there in a little bit, because like the fact that they still put this at the end, knowing they changed the ending,
that's weird,
and just had the attitude of like, it's fine. No one notice. No one's going to care. They'll just think it's another one of the generic taekwondo songs we put up.
Well, but I guess you could argue that because he was so close to death, it's still relevant. Basically, he almost lost everything in that moment, all because of violence, all because of these ninjas.
But now your best days are memories. He just met his dad. Like, he's got his whole life ahead of him.
Yeah, but that's the only line that doesn't hold up. I mean, one swift blow means eternity. That could still hold up, because it's like, that blow could have been the end. But that line in particular, you just said, that one I can't really...
I kind of wish they'd come in at the last minute and tried to edit in some like nicer lyrics over the top or something. It'd be like the banner in Arrested Development of like you're killing me, Buster, and all that. Like, family love, Michael.
Listeners, send in your nice lyrics to this.
But I'm
sure we'll get like 3 people, because everyone's like, I'm not doing that. That's homework.
But just like talking about like all the blow into eternity, and just hear in the background, he got better. Just adding in some random crap to be like,
oh, that's perfection right there. Hell yeah, he got better. Yeah. In fact, just use the I got better line from Holy Grail. Yeah.
It just cuts to that in the middle.
Yeah, turned me into a newt.
It's just like Jim written above his head.
I got better. I got better, guys. Like me and my gym being Michael Jackson again. Oh, I'm never going to do that again, am I? Oh,
that made me. Only got one more chance after this, John. So.
Yeah, I know.
But should we get into some of the other things on screen, or have you got?
Yes, I have one. The very beginning. It's technically we moved past this last week, but I thought, well, this starts with the music store owner. And I thought, well, since I mentioned that at the beginning, I've got to at least reference it, right? So I thought, okay, I'm going to have a look. I'm going to have a Google. See what he's done, right? Music store owner. They've done nothing of note. Not even in this movie. Because as IMDb informs us, and I was thinking this, their scenes are cut.
Oh, so that would have been yeah, we talked about that scene briefly, yeah.
Yeah.
With like the rascally dragon sound, like the more sort of proper delinquent side of them. We don't get something where they go in and just pester that guy. Yeah. That was
So that must be what it was. Because when I was reading these credits, I was like, music store owner, completely forgetting about like deleted scenes. Mm-hmm. But it's still in the credits. I know, obviously, Hollywood do that a lot, but on a movie like this, have you got to do that?
I mean, they can't be bothered going to change the song. They probably were like, we cut that guy out of the movie. Doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine.
Plus, I suppose, like The Room, they're like, this is a real Hollywood production. This is what Hollywood does, so we're doing it.
No, I think it's good. It's like at the end, they're just like, no one reads the credits. No one listens to the song. Get out of there.
No one goes through the credits minute by minute, Googling things. What's Google? Don't know.
Yeah, but they reckon with the power of what's going on. They were on the cusp of the 90s, where it's just like the era of the credit songs. You know,
Yep.
we talked about them quite a bit on Batman. It was like each and every one of them, an absolute banger. I have to say, because this song is pretty good too. We've been quite blessed in that the closest we ever came to doing a bad song was from Mask of the Phantasm, with like the Tia Carrera song, and that wasn't even all that bad. It was just very ill-suited to the film, you know.
Well, I mean, I've brought it up on Batminute. Don't know if I've brought it up. I probably haven't brought it up on here, but still, the most iconic one of these for me, listeners, was when I lived in Pakistan, and I bought fake movies, obviously, and they would often like tape over all the films and things like this, you know. So I bought The Ring, and I'll just never, to this day, I'll never forget The Ring ending. And the credits for Men in Black came up. So it's like, here come the Men in Black.
Well, they would have got Sadako sorted pretty damn quick, I'll tell you that.
I completely destroyed the whole mood.
Although it might have been it would have been better if they put on Ghostbusters, to be fair, because Men in Black might be like, not our departments, you know.
No.
Out of our remit.
Now, I have to we're going to move past him, but I have to mention your best friend before we do advance, because he's after the music store owner. We've got Mr. Ditch.
Okay, yep.
So after him, and after we've got our listener anthem playing in the background. I noticed that one of the ninjas there, who I think we did say had a nice name last week, Scott Rousseau. Mm-hmm. I looked into him. He has done other stuff. It's quite an interesting sort of career as well. He wrote the movie On Any Sunday, The Next Chapter, which has Bo Derek.
That's a really terrible name. On Any Sunday, The Next Chapter.
It's a follow-up to something called On Any Sunday.
Not on any given Sunday. They should say Al Pacino movie.
No, absolutely not. Here you go. Inspired by Bruce Brown's 1971 documentary On Any Sunday. This chronicles the international sport of motorcycle racing.
Oh, so it's like proper, like on any Sunday, the next chapter. For some reason in my head, I just had it as a comma. Like it was like a part of a sentence, like on any Sunday.
The next chapter.
The next chapter, ... you know.
Well, you know it's good if Bo Derek's in it. So that's
of course, yeah.
He also was a prop maker on both Starman and The Scout.
Oh, nice.
And he played Santa Claus in Scary Movie 5.
He played Santa Claus in the mall.
You want to know the maddest thing, right? This collection, Miami Connection, writing a movie, prop maker, being a Santa, that encompasses his entire career, nothing else. What a roller coaster. It's literally different jobs each time.
I wonder sometimes, too, if they, like, IMDb just compartmentalize things, so people who don't like that could have been like 5 separate guys, but now they just sort of aggregated it into like it must be this guy, you know.
I mean that can happen. Apparently that's why some of them have the numbers at the end. It's to differentiate this. But maybe someone's done something wrong. It is possible.
Like later on, there is a Kevin Pollak in this, and I was like, the Kevin Pollak is in. No. He was in the. Although maybe he was. I don't know. You see in the background on the beach, it's like, is that the guy from The Usual Suspects? It's like, yeah, it is. It's like, is that Moish Maisel from the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? He's just over there doing that shtick.
That'd be amazing. I did spot as well that we get Jeff's gang members. And I thought of you when I saw this because you're a gang member. No, because of the spelling.
Yes. Did
you pick up on it as well? An instant, like, gang members isn't one word. Why? I didn't actually notice till I was writing my note, and my spell check was like, no.
Because not only is there that, they've got it as one word, and then within the same screenshot.
Yeah.
Orlando gang members, 2 words, both capitalized. It's like, I think these guys really were like, as soon as they got to the credits, it's like, we're done. We're not like this. These were done like 10 minutes before the premiere. I was like, God, Christ, just throw something together. It's like, what? Do we have a song? The song we're going to use. Go ahead and put it on. Like,
I think you're right, because also in the same screenshot is the same error. It says old rock band leader. Rock band is one word.
But they've capitalized The B. This old rock band, capital R, lowercase OCK, capital B. Like, what the hell is going on?
I bet you were triggered seeing this. Oh God.
I was slightly triggered in that. Like, you know who old rock band leader is?
Well, right, this is a note I've written down. Who do you think that is?
It's Dexys, right?
It's got to be, right? It's got to be Dexy. But
like we have, because it's been our lives for like the last year and a half. We have to remind ourselves that his name isn't actually Dexys. But maybe press don't press F for the man, the actor. Press F, press D for Dexys.
Yes, do that.
Remember. Like, to be fair, we got a lot of material out of that guy. So, we had more respect for that character than the movie did. Quite frankly,
absolutely, we've come to love him.
We gave him a name, for God's sake, you know. And then also he doesn't get his gang member. There's no old rock band leader gang members.
No.
There's just Jeff's gang member. There's Jeff gang members and Orlando gang members. Is the way I guess we'd have to pronounce it.
You know what though? Those gang members, gang members. I was astonished that not one of them had done any movies or anything. Not a single credit. I know they were mostly YK Kim students and stuff, but like fucking hell. Not one of them tried another film.
What the thing is, though, as we get to the end of the minute, most of the names show back up again.
Yes.
As, like, production people. So I think that's more the thing, is just like, hey, you, mopping in the corner, put on this bandana, you're a Jeff gang member now.
Yeah, but you would think, like, okay, maybe a lot of them had a bit of a sour taste from it, but you'd think one of them would have been like, you know what, maybe I'm going to try another movie. None of them.
Well, they did. Of course, there's Eddie Wood. You know, he of course went on to make Plan 9 from Outer Space, as people might recall.
Now we have to do Plan 9 minutes, 9 minutes at a time. Min 9. Oh, I don't know.
Although I will say, I think we can, like, maybe because one of the ones with Jeff's gang members I really remember, of course, was Barb.
Yeah.
Or Anna Bagitska as like, you know, the alternate names that she had, but like, you know, the lady with the big glasses.
Are we assuming that's Tracy Hicks? Oh no, there's Tina Wilkes as well.
I was for some reason my eye went to Tina Wilkes as being that must be who that is. I don't know why. She didn't look like a Tracy Hicks to me.
She's got Tina vibes.
Yeah, she does have Tina vibes. But then, you know, Angela Ciboletta. But then, she looked very.
And Laurie can be either, I think, can't it?
Yeah, I thought I would put Laurie down as but I don't remember Jeff's gang having that many. Because one of them has to be the woman in the jeans bench pressing or whatever.
But aren't they the only two?
Yeah.
No, hang on. There was at least one more we saw in like a background shot.
And then I wonder if Orlando gang members, because I think that's a total sausage fest.
Oh,
right?
that one, right? I wanted to ask you about that. Which gang's this? I thought they were all accounted for now.
Orlando gang members, I guess, would be because
at the start,
Yoshido's crew, they're ninjas, right?
Yeah.
And they're also from Miami. They're definitively. So maybe this is this Dexy? The guys, the Dexy got to attack them,
but
before
wasn't that
he went
supposed
to
be Jeff's guys?
No, because I think because then remember he gets fired. He gets his ass kicked by that club owner.
That's true.
He then goes at them outside with a gang out of nowhere that we assumed by watching it sort of like, you know, virtually live minute by minute. We're like, oh, this must be Jeff's crew. And then we were stunned to find out later that wasn't Jeff's crew. that was somehow, he had already amassed a gang somehow. And then he had to go to Jeff's crew to be like, yeah, so you gotta help me out because these assholes keep stealing my jobs and kicking my ass.
I think you've nailed it. I think that's what this is. Yeah.
Yeah, so these are the mystery Orlando, the unaccounted for Orlando gang, who were like old Dexy's fans, I guess. Dexy's Midnight Runners, I would have had more of a female demographic, quite frankly. But
yeah, what's going on? There is one, Joan Rossano. Are there any others? I think it's just Joan. Oh, there's a Fernando, though. Fernando's a good name.
There was something in the air that night. They cooked my ass and took my job, Fernando.
There's a couple of great names in here, actually. Danny Hightower.
Oh, I think throughout there's a lot of one that really took my eye for some reason though, because it just took me as slightly off. Was in Jeff's gang, Richard McDonald's.
Oh, is it the
like,
S?
Yeah, it's like Richard McDonald makes sense, but Richard McDonald's, it's like, is he owned by McDonald's? Like, should there be an apostrophe there? Like, what's that? Like, McDonald's? Is there more than one of them? Like, what's going on?
That's weird. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I've never seen that done with someone else with like. Yeah, just like McDonald. That's it ends there, you know. But
McDonald.
and of course, there's other ones like Heinz Wellnitz is a great name. That's I'll have a few points because it reminds me of beans. But beyond that though.
Well, I'm into the beans, so I like Heinz. I did not know that was a first name.
Oh yeah, there was.
I don't know Hans, and I know Heinz is a surname.
No. There was a famous singer in the '60s just called Heinz as well.
Sponsored by the beans.
He did that song just like Eddie. I know because he was produced by Joe Meek. My dad's a big Joe Meek fan because my dad's a big '60s music buff. But they made Joe Meek was he was like a visionary English music producer that no one talks about anymore. Ended up getting murdered. No, he killed himself and his landlady. Actually, no, he didn't get murdered. He was in the closet because it was the '60s. I think he went out and he tried to solicit someone in a bathroom. And then he got beaten up, and then he was so worried about the way things were going, and he was so depressed in his own life, he ended up shooting himself.
Shit.
And his landlord, or his landlady. But his whole thing was he made great songs like amazing. What's the actual credited band? But there's an amazing song that goes like Johnny, remember me, yes I love. I'll put it up in the social media.
Yeah, do because I'm interested. I only know bits and pieces of his work, to be honest.
But then that Telstar was his big one.
That's the one I know the most. Yeah,
and they made a movie of him as well, and he was played by that guy who was one of the cops in The Batman. Actually, remember that guy he's like a Northern Irish actor. And he's got a really hoarse voice, and he's like, I can't believe it, hanging out with this freak in a Cape Jim and all this. He's in Chernobyl and stuff as well. But that's why I know that guy is Joe Meek, But,
amazing! Holy crap, I didn't know that.
But yeah, the song "Just Like Eddie" that was made in tribute to Eddie Cochran was done by a guy just called John. Well, Johnny Remember Me was by John Leighton, and then "Just Like Eddie" was done by a guy just called Heinz.
Brilliant name.
Yeah.
Also, I love you bringing up Eddie Cochran because to me, he's the trio of rock and roll. To me, is Chuck Berry, Little Richard, and Eddie Cochran. Elvis is fine, but it's not the real deal compared to them.
Yeah. No, that's why again, my dad is a big '60s music buff. His whole thing is Eddie Cochran better than Elvis.
Much better.
That kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah. If you see Heinz, he's every bit the German man you would expect him.
Yeah.
To be. Very blonde, very blue-eyed.
It's what you want to see when you go to Germany.
But yeah, then there's a couple of names here I did get a kick out of. David Huff.
Great name.
Of course, notoriously difficult to work with. Always having a strap, that guy. Who else did I write down? Oh yeah, Miami drug dealer John Escobar. It's like, holy moly, they got in Pablo's brother. Jesus Christ.
I thought that. I was like, right, no, that can't be the guy's real name. He's putting that on, right? Escobar, and he's playing a drug dealer. No.
He does. He's one of the guys who pops up later. I think he's like a stills photographer or something. But maybe that's why we got who can play the drug dealer. Oh, it's Escobar. Get him in. That'll be fun.
It genuinely could be like a little in joke. Yeah. I mean, I picked up one David Donahue, right? Not for the name, but when I looked him up, that's not his real name. His real name is David Donahoe, Donoho, which I was astonished by because that's not a name. But okay. Now when I looked at him, he worked on the crew of loads of movies and TV programs. Like, it's nuts, right? Too many to list. So I just picked out some. And you're going to think, John, you've picked out loads. There's loads more. He worked on Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Yeah.
The, dare I say, the worst one, maybe?
It's tough competition, to be honest, for the lowest in the series.
The thing is, because like, it's followed by Part 6, and Part 6 by far the best. Like, that's, I'll die on that hill to be like, yeah, Friday the 13th, Part 6, that's when they got it. They got it perfect right there.
Sadly, from my research, he didn't work on that one. But he did work on Critters 2.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Critters 2 is it's a tough watch.
I think a lot of these are. This one sounds like a tough watch. He worked on a movie called Without Her Consent.
That doesn't sound like I think people want to watch these days.
When I looked at it, it seemed like very serious and about what it sounds like it's about. But it also, the kind of visuals of it are like, yeah, but it's sexy, right? It's a sexy, sexy
late 80s, early 90s. That's what everything was just like, yeah, it's erotic. There's people having sex on it. It's like, I mean, you want to watch this, right? Like, none of it's about that.
And it is about that when you read it as well. He worked on something called Monsters. Dead Silence.
He's all like Dead Silence, like the horror movie Dead Silence. That's pretty famous film. I guess if he's a Friday the 13th Part 5 caliber, then of course he worked on.
Well, there you go, exactly. Deep Cover. Out of all the generic names, Deep Cover. It could be any sort of 80s action movie, that couldn't it? Fantastic.
Yeah. Or it could be. It could be literally anything. Deep Cover. It could be a cop drama. It could be a horror movie. It could be a rom-com. It could be everything. Deep Cover is just like, it's about cops. No, it's about a guy who turns into a mermaid. You're like, oh, okay.
You know what? Now I've got to look up what it is about.
I think if you type in Deep Cover, you will find about 50 films called that.
There you go. It's come up. It's directed by Bill Duke.
Oh, nice. Bill Duke, the Predator guy.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Stars Lawrence Fishburne, Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, man. Oh, I know Deep Cover. That's actually a really good film. I just assumed this must have been like proper bargain, like basement, like, straight to video kind of crap. But like, no, Deep Cover, like, the Fishburne Goldblum movie. I do know that film. That's actually a really good film.
So, some of these are quality. He's worked on a movie called FTW. Which stars, let me get up FTW, because I didn't write this down for some bizarre reason. It stars Mickey Rourke.
No, I must have thinking of a different one. I thought it was a Stephen Dorff thing, FTW.
No, not this one. But then again, all I can think of, like everything always does, comes back to wrestling. Because the wrestler Taz, well, he used to be a wrestler. I mean, he retired in like the
He put the
mid-2000s.
Taz in Tasmania, of course. Yeah.
Well, his original character was the Tasmaniac. And then they shortened it to Taz because they were like, no, we have to be serious.
Yeah. With an S or a Z, though?
A Z.
Oh, so not even, like, Warner Brothers can't even touch him.
Exactly. But then when he left ECW and joined WWF at the time, they slapped another Z on so they could copyright it. So it was two Zs.
I love petty crap like that.
So now he's not with them. He's in AEW. He's one Z again.
I'm flying free and I've dropped the Z.
Yeah. And now that's his phrase, is FTW. It's on all of his stuff. It means fuck the world. Because that's his character.
I think I might be slightly dyslexic because even in my head I kept picturing it as WTF. So I thought like, it must mean yeah. It was like, FTW. It's like, oh, okay, no, I get it.
Well, he was just a bit. He was like a killer. He was like nihilistic bastard, and he wouldn't get a shot at the world title, so he made his own world title up. He was like, right, you're not going to give me a shot at the title. I'm going to make my own fucking title. It's the FTW Championship, the Fuck the World Championship. And it's still around now. Like Chris Jericho has it at the moment. And his joke is, he's like, no, I don't want to be hardcore. He's like, I'm changing it. It's for the world. It's for the world. And he's being all fake and smiley all the time now. And you want to smack him. It's great. What else has this guy done? Oh, yeah, he's done Love Boat, The Next Wave.
Nice.
I didn't remember that existed. He's also worked on Charmed,
like the original Charmed or the redo they did there recently.
The Well, I was going to say the original, unless there's an older original.
No. There was like the Charmed, like the what you call it, Alyssa Milano.
Yes,
and all
yes.
Yeah. The classic Charmed, but they did do a Charmed reboot like quite recently that I don't think anyone watched. But,
No, I didn't know about. I watched a lot of the original. I didn't know there was this reboot. Thank God.
yeah, Charmed it's a weird show in that like I know a lot about Charmed, and I watched a lot of it, not even liking it.
No, it's not good.
It's not good at all. It's complete soap opera, just riding on Buffy's coattails.
Yeah.
But the thing was,
They were hot.
we were 12 or 13 or whatever when it started, and the whole thing was just like, look at these three women.
They're all pretty hot, right?
And then they got Shannon Doherty got rid of her. We got in Rose McGowan. And you're like, whoa, well. And it's like, those women don't have enough material.
No.
For to have full sets of clothes. They basically live in crop tops all the time. And so you will sit through endless hours of this crap just to see what they're wearing each week. It was insane. I don't think you can get away with that now.
No, I think that was the whole appeal, even to women. It seemed to be the appeal of like, oh, they're so beautiful. I want to be them.
Yeah, they were just stunning looking, the Charmed ones. And then that guy, Julian McMahon, came from that, right?
Yes, I think so.
He went on to Nip Tuck, and he was the angel ripoff in Charmed. And then he went on to be Doctor Doom. And then I'm a big defender of those early 2000s Fantastic Four films. And I'm always like, yeah, he was a pretty good Doctor Doom, that guy. But I think he didn't get to go full Latvian dictator with it or anything. He had to just deal with what they gave him.
Well, that's the thing. It was within him.
He was every time I was watching, like, he's really fun. I'm enjoying him as Doctor Doom.
Now, what else? Oh, Shark. What else?
Just Shark. I thought there was going to be more than that.
No. CSI New York.
I don't want to interrupt your spiel, John, but like the fact you're getting into the TV now, I've got my fingers crossed that there's going to be a certain show pops up here. And should I raise my hopes that there's going to be something that we would be looking out for on Batman?
No.
That's it. That show's over. There's no point now. let's just go home.
I just thought they were interesting. There's no connections. I'm sorry.
No.
Although connecting to that CSI New York, he has also worked on something I've never heard of, CSI Cyber. What the fuck is that?
I'm imagining, because I've not heard that either. That must have been we made a pilot. That was it.
Yeah, but there's probably 6 episodes, something like that.
Yeah. Somehow there was a CSI show that didn't succeed. All the rest of them go on for 700 episodes.
I think most of them are still on.
I think they are. I think there might have been a big thing where the original one might be ending, or it might have just recently ended. But that's the thing. Yeah, they're always incredibly. Again, my dad. If you go home, if you go home, if you go to my home, go to my dad's house. This was not my home. You can go to my dad's home.
We get the idea.
You'll find that because he doesn't truck with streaming and whatnot, so he's still on network TV. And what's on network TV is just detective crap.
Oh,
nonstop
nonstop
drama, and the CSIs and the NCIS and all that kind of So that's why people are like, oh, these things are still rating hits. It's just old people who don't know that they can get other stuff. I think
they know and they don't care. They don't want to get other stuff. They're like, no, I'm happy.
I think I was talking to someone the other day too about. They were saying that they were talking about this is a person younger than us was talking about I've been going through Law and Order, going through Law and Order, beginning to end I'm going through Law and Order.
Won't that take about 8 years?
Yeah. And then I was saying to her as well, I was like, yeah, I kind of got put off it because I remember my brother would say he tried watching it just as he had his first kid. And he just was sitting holding a little baby in his arms and watching Law and Order. And apparently Law and Order is so hardcore at times. Gets into some really, really dark territory that he was just I don't want to watch this anymore. I don't want to hear about all the horrors of mankind while I've got my kid right here and stuff. And she was just yeah, no, it's Law and Order is kind of hardcore apparently. So.
Okay, you're intriguing me more now. Okay, maybe I'll have to give it a go too. I'll go all the way through every episode.
Yeah, but they did Law and Order SVU, the Special Victims Unit. They're special victims of something in particular is the thing. So.
Oh, is it a bit sexy?
Not sexy, but it's based around sex.
Well, I assume they're sex workers.
No.
No.
They're people who have been attacked. They're special victims units.
Oh, wait. No. That's even worse. I thought they were... Well, no, not that I'm ranking crime. But, my first thought was, maybe they're like ladies of the night who've been killed. And it's
it's not like it's not Miami Vice where it's like, hey, we're going out sexy drug squad,
Okay, it's even darker than that. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah, that might be a bit much.
Yeah.
Well, so one thing he's been on that is very dark. In one way, maybe not in that kind of a way. American Horror Story.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was stunned to find out that's still going. American Horror Story.
Yeah, I dropped out in the fourth one.
Yeah. And apparently there's like 12 or something now. So.
You'd think I would have watched the Gargoyle one, and I'm like, no, I'm not doing it, because it'll try and draw me back in, and I'll get my hopes up, and it'll be shit. I
also was like, hell with this. And then to find out, they're like, no, they're still making them. There's still every year you will get an American Horror Story.
Well, there's only 2 left, and you're going to quite... Well, I mean, there's loads more, but 2 left on my list. And you're going to quite like the next one, but it has the same problem in that I've literally only watched the first season. American Crime Story.
Ooh.
Now, listeners, we may have brought up our mutual love of the OJ season, but I have... It took so long to bring out a second season, I just was like, I'm not bothered anymore.
Yeah. And then the third one, which I think they were really clamoring to get back, because the second one was the Versace one.
Which, again, you would think I would have watched that. No.
I think also that doesn't get people quite as much as, like, that first one going, like, we're doing a dramatization of the OJ trial.
Yeah.
The thing that gripped the world. Everyone wants to show up for that. Like, you're like, like literally everybody was watching it at the time. It was they watched it back in the 90s. They watched it again in the 2012s or whatever. And then this is follow up with Versace, and people are like, who? I don't care about that. And then for the third season, they came back with all the Clinton stuff, and you're like, oh, here we go, baby. Like, that's a thing that's going to get people's asses in seats.
That's probably the only other thing I can think that's similar.
But then apparently it was just that bad.
Oh.
That nobody watched that either. So...
Oh,
damn. Just kind of petered out there with the American. The same kind of thing happened with like the. So it's all Ryan Murphy who did American Horror Story, did American Crime Story, and then he did Feud. Of course, the first season of that was all the dramatization of the Betty Davis, Joan Crawford.
Oh, that
debacle,
yeah.
Which starred Susan Sarandon and Jessica Lange, and that's an amazing first season. And they took like 7 years to make season 2. And it was about Truman Capote and these women these random socialites that you'd never heard of. And it was like, but Betty Davis and Joan Crawford's a very famous, like, Truman Capote just having just been nasty in magazines about these women. And them, like, talking about wanting to kill them and stuff. It's like, that's not the same thing as seeing, like, the drama behind whatever happened to Baby Jane and stuff. It's like, I think he needs to stop saying these are going to be continued things.
That's what it is, yeah.
If he just called the OJ show the OJ show instead of setting it up like, we're going to have a different thing every year, that would be a resounding success. But now it's just kind of like that thing that's kind of, sometimes it comes back and most of the time it's not good,
That's the issue. I think it sounds like they come up with the idea of an anthology before they've got the ideas for what compromises the anthology.
It's kind of with True Detective as well.
Comprises, sorry, I just misspoke.
Yeah, but True Detective is the same thing. It's like, right, well, that was that first season. That is True Detective, and then they're like, no, we're bringing it back. But it's a different thing, and you're like, well, you can just call this a different thing. This thing, like, and even the fourth one, Night Country. It's like just call that Night Country. Don't call it True Detective Night Country.
Yeah.
Like, it's over. Just call it Night Country, and it's a different show. Like, just go ahead,
But, I mean, I'm saying but then I'm a big fan of the Final Fantasy games, and each one of those is completely different. They have nothing in common with each other, bar a couple of character names.
Yeah,
so
I gotta say that too. Like, I always do. As much as I enjoy the Halloween films, I do wish that they had stuck with the, the first one was about Michael Myers.
No, I agree.
It would have been an anthology. It would have been an anthology. Season of the Witch would have been its own thing, and then you would have had Halloween.
It would have been American Horror Story.
yeah, something that's basically I'm a giant hypocrite. It's a roundabout way of getting to that, I think.
Well, when I do people's credits like this, I always like to mention the most recent thing. So this year
so not dead. That's good to know.
No, still working and worked on something called Sugar.
Oh.
Almost all of these roles are as some form of a grip. So I mean, no, it's nice to see that, like, you can actually like make a living being a grip. Then it's not just something you do before you move on to something else.
No. I guess if you have I guess a lot of people would be grip. Like, if you got a good grip, I guess a lot of people too would just be like, if you're professional and you get on with people, and you show up and you do the job, that's all you need. You'll get work and you can make a living at this. It's just like, it's probably it might be a bit of a blue collar job, but like, that's why people hire the same carpenters to do stuff, because they're just like,
that's true.
He's good. I mean, the fact that you're saying there's multiple Ryan Murphy shows right there means that either he caught Ryan Murphy's eye himself or Ryan Murphy's people, and they're like, yeah, get that guy who did the grip for the other show. He was good. Get him in.
People in the industry maybe can weigh in on this. How are they hired, right? Do you go out and go like, okay, we need a grip, let's find a grip, or do you hire like a team of people? Like, let's hire this. They all come as a package,
Well, I don't know.
Like maybe he's part of a group, and you hire the group to fill. Like, okay, you're the grip, you're the best boy, blah blah. They fill in all these kind of positions.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully. Know. Yeah, well, maybe we'll find out before the finale of the show next week. So get moving, people. If you know, get typing. I just again was just admiring some of the names that come up here, because some of them just sound made up almost, like Daniel Noble. Like, of course, the very noble Daniel.
I
Noble.
like that. That's a good name. It's a good name.
Jeff Coldpits.
Coldpits or Coal Pits.
I just like to think that like they didn't know these people's last names, and they just start giving them like, oh yeah, the guy with he always complained that his armpits were cold. Yeah, Jeff Coldpits over there.
Because we made him wear a sleeveless shirt all the time.
They think, who's that guy who liked Kevin Pollak? Yeah, that's him over there. Put him in.
It's
Kevin
how
Pollak?
we name the characters in the movie.
Exactly. It's what was happening already. Goddamn.
Mark Chase. Yeah, that guy got chased.
You always got to chase him up for stuff. Yeah, Mark Chase.
Love it.
Yeah.
Now, one of these guys also stood out to me. Not for the name. Mike Matthews. And it's just because I
not a name that you would not stick out to anyone.
Exactly, right? One of the most boring names ever. But
not like the Anthony Chad over there.
Oh. I mean, that's a fucking cool name, Chad. Then again, in this day and age, you don't really want that in your name. You don't want to be the Chad.
No.
Well, unless you're that meme that kind of flips it around and the Chad is actually cool.
I think now you couldn't be called Chad without having the piss taken out of you. I think it's been ruined officially.
But Mike Matthews, he was in this movie, Bikini Beach Race. All right, and when I read you the synopsis, I think I'm going to have to add it to our list for special episodes, I think. So, rev up your engines as the most gorgeous and charming bed race team of all. The Sex Puppets heat up the raceway. Clad in bikinis and lingerie, they'll bump and grind their way to victory aboard comical bedmobiles. Dana Plato, different strokes, stars as the saucy JD, a hydroplane speedboat pilot who's cajoled by 4 college oddballs into joining their bed race team. But watch out, there's dangerous curves ahead as the local mafia pits the odds 100 to 1 against our zany team. The gears shift as Milo, Daniel Barquette, perfects a fantastic invention that'll blast this year's event into Grand Prix history. Hang on to your jockstraps as Bikini Beach Race swerves you out of control through this rally between the sheets.
So, Bikini Beach Race is minute by minute, so it'll be our follow-up to Miami Connection.
Every line of that was just perfection. I was just like, this just gets better. But in the beginning, it just casually drops that they race beds and doesn't mention what that is. You're like, hang on, wait, back up, wait.
Is it a racing bed car? Or is that what they just took a couple of those from a store and then just put a green screen behind them? It's like, there you go, they're racing beds. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm 90% sure that's probably what it is, and then it's just an excuse to have the girls falling around in lingerie on the beds. Fucking hell. Bikini beach race.
Oh, man. Oh.
No.
But yeah.
I mean, there is someone coming up who could be in a bikini beach race, because bikers, the first one?
Well, now again, we're getting back in the names of people who are just clearly made up over here.
Well, but remember, the bikers are actual bikers. So I think either they're like hiding their real names because, they're up to no good, or that's my name.
Yeah.
I'm Crazy Dave.
Because Crazy Dave and also Crazy Legs.
Crazy Legs. I love that. It reminded me of that guy in Liverpool. Have you seen him? Lecky Legs.
No, I'm not seeing Lecky Legs. Are his legs literally made of electricity? Or?
Literally. Wow. No, I think someone just videoed him once, like dancing, pissed out in the street, and it became a viral thing. And it's Lecky Legs. Everyone loves Lecky Legs.
So Crazy Legs, I just thought it would be like, oh, he's like a ZZ Top fan or something like that. Although bikers, it would work.
I would assume they're all ZZ Top fans, right? Or are they not hardcore enough? I don't know.
But no, I think back in the day of ZZ, I think ZZ Top would always get in the biker crowd. They'd be like, you can't deny the power of that rock and roll.
Well, that's the thing. Bikers, they might be like tough kind of dudes, but the music they listen to isn't that hardcore. It's pretty generic standard rock about boozing and shagging and like, okay.
It's just like, with Def Leppard, all that kind of stuff. It's like, we're doing cock rock. Yeah, that's all. They like simple things, They like revving engines and beer and getting laid, or talking about getting laid and then imagining potentially getting laid at some point in their lives.
They like their beers cold and their homosexuals for laming. I don't know. Maybe would they or would they not? That's hard to predict.
But again, I just can't help but feel that they were just sort of like, they just got first names and then just came up with the rest, though. Because like Stephen Yowls is like, who was that guy who had that weird sneeze? You were kind of like Stephen Yowls, Jason, the guy who wore the dress that day, or Jason, the Scottish guy, Jason Dress. Yeah, I know that.
Jason Dress, yes.
Barbara and Jesse Lepper. It was like they were really unpopular. No one ever went near them.
Oh, I never noticed that they were related yet. Well, I say they're related. They must be. They must be with a name like that. Who's called Leper?
Yeah.
Unless they both had a limb fall off.
One of them had one arm fall off. The other had the other arm fall off.
Hey, so they can go together. Yeah.
They're like, that would have been a scene right there. Like Mark having a fight. That's like two people joined together.
Holy shit. Sequel.
Yeah.
Because these characters are alive. In fact, they never fought the bikers, and we know the bikers are mates with Yoshito. Well,
that might be that could have been the big setup. Like, they killed who? No.
Our boy.
Yeah. Big Al Landgraf.
Yeah, he sounds odd. He sounds tough. You wouldn't mess with Big Al.
Well, he's the guy who carries the map as well. He's got the Landgraf. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And then like. I just wonder what, like, Crazy Dave, the fact that they, like, because they put the quotation marks around it and everything.
They know it's not his name.
Yeah. I think that's the one, though. We can make up, Eddie Channel. Like, oh, yeah, the gas will always hog the remote. Yeah, Eddie Channel over there, yeah. But, no one's going to buy it that his actual name is Crazy Dave. So we'll have to put the quotation marks around it. But yeah, I wonder, so he could just be generally crazy. But then Crazy Legs. This is like, what's crazy about these legs? Should we have been on the lookout during that scene for some particularly crazy legs? Did we notice crazy legs and we just don't recall them now? There could have been someone there with like really bad rickets or something at the time.
I thought he just did like a cool...
We never spotted it.
Like Lecky Legs. I thought maybe he's like a cool dancer. He's like, oh, look at him. He's got crazy legs. He's all over the place. Woo!
So mine would have been like, it's a woman. Like, it's going to be like, oh, she's got crazy legs, man. And, she's like, she's got killer legs, but she's freaking crazy, man. Don't get involved with her.
Well, in fact, is that not a ZZ Top song? She's got legs.
Yeah, she knows how to use them.
Yeah, because I remember that, again, wrestling, that was the entrance theme for Stacy Keibler, who used to go out with Clooney.
The Keibler Elves.
No, George Clooney.
Yeah, nice, man.
Oh, actually tying into George Clooney and Batman... This guy here, Tim Bartlett, he was in a movie, not that one. He was in a movie called Dark Knight.
Was it the Dark Knight with a K?
It is with a K. It's like a medieval kind of thing. It's because I saw that, I was like, oh my god, he's in the Dark Knight. Oh no, he's not.
That would have been a pretty upward swing from Miami Connection to the Dark Knight. It would have been ideal. It's like, we have to get this guy in the show. Like, Jesus Christ. Like,
we probably could.
There was literally no other person who crosses between the worlds over here, but he would have achieved it.
Well, here you go though. This proves what I was saying earlier about it was weird that none of those gang members did another movie. Right? One of these fucking real bikers tried. He gave it a go. I checked every single one of their credits. He's the only one, and it's the only other thing he did. But he gave it a fucking shot.
Yeah.
I think that deserves a bit of respect.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Black Knight thing or the Dark Knight thing.
Yeah,
that was. Oh, I thought you were referring to another guy there for a second.
No,
I was
this
like,
guy.
You're about to introduce what it was. Like, yeah.
No, this dude. He was playing Friar Edwin in Dark Knight. I assume because back then everyone's hairy. So.
But that was so actually getting bumped up into named character status too. It's he was clawing his way. He could have played the Joker if he kept going.
What we could have had. Nobody wanted Heath. Well, actually, I'm joking, but at the time they didn't.
No, they never do. They never do. But he might be good. But is he any Richard Mulvanex?
Oh, what a name, Mulvanex. Where does that even come from? Or maybe actually it's French. Is it like Mulvanet?
Oh, it could be.
How would you pronounce that in French, actually? The X there. I don't know.
Mulvanet. Yeah, I think that would be. I don't want to come in and just butcher all around the place over here.
As you can tell, listeners, neither of us are particularly good at French.
No. But yeah, there's some other ones too. Just fun to say. Kevin Chudzik. Yeah, he was a cannibalistic humanoid underground dweller. Zik.
What's the Zik for? That's a typo.
And then we got the powering on through here the UCF students. Not really no crossover. I thought maybe some of them could have just stuck on a couple of bandanas and that would have been good actually if some of the students had been in the gangs as well.
Why not?
That would have been a fun thing. They're like, we should go back and see if we can spot any of them. But no, I think they must have got the cleanest cut people they could find, maybe.
Yeah, I suppose they've got to have a different vibe, a different energy. They exude a kind of innocence, even though they're not like little kids, that the university students, but still,
Yeah. And you got the Nicholas there, Nicholas Ickbein Berliner over there. Now this one, Anne Bukowski, right? She is the only one here who I found who worked in something again. She was on the crew of something called The Boys Club. She hosted a show called That's Boating. And I'm gonna go and bet that was a public access show.
I think it was. And according to the IMDb trivia section, so this might not be up to date, but according to that, she is currently one of the hosts of Swap Shop on Toronto Rogers television channel.
That feels like again we could try to get her.
Yeah,
it could be but then it also could be like there's just another Anne Bukowski. It's like, no, IMDb's just compiled this together. I don't know any idea about Miami Connection.
No, it's got to be the same. Don't you question the integrity of IMDb?
If only we could go through all these people and get them on the show, and then they could all be like, no, I'm not the guy, but I'll talk to you about Miami Connection if you want, though.
Like that guy who the BBC got on once. He was there for a job interview. What was it? He was there for a job interview, and they mistook him for someone else and put him on live on the telly.
Yeah, they thought he was like the expert that they were bringing in to talk about a particular topic, so they brought the guy out. And he's just on there like, so, like, Professor, what's your opinion? And it's just this guy sitting just like, hey, at the very, he blagged something.
He gave it a go, yeah.
Like, he comes out with a response, but you can see when they introduce him as like, oh, it's, Professor O'Barnes or whatever. He's just like, what? Because it's live TV, he's just like, gonna roll with it.
He gets it. He gets it. You don't stop. You roll with it, as you say. It maybe comes from an improv background.
It could have been a real disaster if he was just like, no, I'm going to have to shut down this whole thing now, and then everyone was going to be scrambling and panicking. And then just be like, you know what? maybe I could be a professor.
Well,
if you believe it.
Yes, and. It's his motto.
I think, though, I remember seeing him interviewed And they're like, did you at least get the job? And he's like, no.
They should have given it to him out of pity.
Oh, yeah. I don't just urge us out of like, you know what, kid? You got moxie.
I like your balls, kid.
Yeah.
You got spunk.
Just like Keith Housand over here. He's worth a lot of money. He's just missing the T.
Keith Housand. Every surname is unusual to me.
Doesn't just make it up because he was a guy like, he had $1,000 bill, but he ripped up the first bit of it. So they call him Keith Housand or something.
Yeah, when he went to use it, it was like, oh my god, no, a bit's ripped off. And that was back when they were paper, they would rip.
But then you got like the because then we get into like some familiar names, and so casting like AK.
Well, it's all repeat names now, isn't it? 90% of them.
Yeah, Joseph Diamond, Vincent Hurst, and then just like out of nowhere, the coolest name in all the credits, Maximo Munzi.
Yes, Maximo Munzi.
Like, where was he the rest of the movie? Like Maximo Munzi, he sounds like a guy you want to get in your movie. Like, but
I mean, that name alone, I would put him in my crew. Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone else, like for Frank McVicker, is a repeat name, and everyone else is like, yeah, I'll do whatever. But like Maximo Munzi is like, I've got too much dignity. Like I'm not gonna. I'll do your production coordination. Or sorry, no, he's the editor. Actually, maybe editor. He's all. That might be the explanation, actually. The editor you'd hire maybe after everything had been shot.
True.
So they just, he couldn't have gone in there. But
I suppose unless it's a major Hollywood movie, there's probably no need to line up the editor in advance.
No, I think it'll entirely be this. Like unless you're doing like your dailies and things like that to kind of keep the studio happy. But
I
think a lot of it would
movie
be
did dailies.
No, not at all. I think literally no one but YK Kim saw it until the day it premiered. Him and Maximo Munzi, and he's just like, I don't even know if I want my name in the credits, quite frankly.
It's a fake name again. He's called Jim Smith or something.
Yeah, he was just looking around. He's like, credit me as he saw a can of Pepsi Max. Like, Maximo. Now, what day is it? Munzi.
That's a bit like the way some English people say Monday, isn't it? Monday.
Munzi. So Maximo Munzi.
Yeah, that's where he got it. He's English.
He's actually a kind of weird zombie guy from the swamp. Who I can only say Maximo Munzi, born on a Monday.
I mean, his name did make me think. It sounds like the crew member you'd get on some low-budget Italian horror. A new film by Maximo Munzi.
I think it would add a lot more cred. If only he'd let them plaster his name over the thing a bit more. Of course, then we get speaking of Star Wars, we got Rick McCallum's brother there, John McCallum.
Yeah.
Making his own empire. But
his own empire?
His allegiance is to YK Kim, to democracy.
Our allegiance is to YK Kim. For life, man, we're telling you.
And then, let's just go through Young Moon Kwan.
Oh, but Young Moon Kwan, assistant director, was an actor in a movie I absolutely adore. Jackie Chan's Project A. I think that's one of the greatest martial arts movies ever made. Project A is incredible. In fact, if you like Police Story, listeners, I think Project A might be better. And I love Police Story. Yeah. Although there's been about 8 million Police Stories now. Some of them are gritty and serious. When Jackie Chan realised he couldn't really fight like he used to. But Project A, as far as I'm aware, I think there's only 2, and they're both great.
Yeah.
It's proper Jackie Chan, Hong Kong era Jackie Chan.
And does Old Moon Kwan show up at any point?
Of course, I mean, that's his father.
And ironic then is like, once I die, you will become Old Moon Kwan.
He has to change it. You inherit the name.
That's why now he doesn't get any residuals from Miami Connections. Like, you changed your name. It's like, well, I'm not young anymore. What do you want from me?
If only he kept it, he would be making millions.
Yeah, it's like, hey, the Backstreet Boys are still going by boys, man. You gotta keep going with this stuff.
They're going by boys, man. Interesting use of words.
Yeah, boys to man.
Oh,
we're gonna get boys to men. And just like the rest of them had all pissed off, and there was only one left. It was just boys to man.
Oh, boy to man. For some reason, that sounds unsettling. Oh, boys, because there were boys. And
yeah,
now
there was multiple boys. They all cleared off. So and now he's grown up. So it's boys to man.
Oh, wait, that's fucking brilliant. Oh, my God. But there's something unsettling about just one man on stage to me.
Particularly when their whole thing was all about like, oh, there's such great harmonies and stuff.
Like, what happened here? Come on, tell the truth.
Yeah. But yeah, now we are truly back into like the all the names popping up again. There's Heinz Wellness back again. You got Eddie Wood popping up again. Michael Goins. David Donahue. Faith Cotter. Faith Cotter was there like 2 seconds ago. She's back already. God damn it.
That's when you really realize, like, if you'd never watched the movie and you just saw the credits, you would pick up from this bit. Oh, is this a low budget movie?
Yeah.
Everyone's got like 8 hats.
And the fair play too, it differentiates. It shows you a strength of character that YK Kim has. Because if this was the end credits of The Room, this would all just be Tommy Wiseau, basically.
Well, as we've seen, it's like literally every 2 seconds you see his fucking name.
Yeah, it's just a man really into plastering his name all over anything. And then YK Kim, just like he's like, I did the casting. It's like, I'm pretty sure you did a lot more than that, YK Kim. But like, he's going with one credit for playing Mark. And one credit for the casting.
Well, we know he's a humble guy.
Yeah, he's humble. And then he pretty much directed the movie, but also like, no, give the credits to the other guy. It's so fair play. He's a man of high regard.
He is. That's one reason we love him. If he was bragging all the time, I was gonna say if he was bragging all the time, we wouldn't like him. But I suppose Tommy does do that. Yeah, and we do like him. Well, we like him, but in a different way. Like I feel like hanging out with YK Kim you'd have a nice, lovely time. Whereas if you hung out with Tommy, it'd be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. You would walk away going like, oh, what an absolute asshole. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. It's like, if he turned out to be nice, I'd be disappointed, quite frankly.
You want him to be a dick.
Yeah, 100%. He seems like he is a dick. Like, everything I've ever heard about him. It's like, he seems like he's slightly unhinged and a complete asshole. So that's what I want.
We do get the bit we alluded to at the start here. We find out that we've been lied to. Yeah. Songs performed by the Lloyd Richards Band. Right. You know what? I tried to look up that band, couldn't find anything.
No. Neither could I too. I could find some little things about Lloyd Sharp, all leading back to Miami Connection. But then the Lloyd Richards Band. Well, the Lloyd's Richards Bands. So now, is it supposed to be... Because Lloyd Richard is a guy from television.
Yeah. Everything that came up was him from television. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not talking about there's a guy on TV called Lloyd Richards. The band television. The guy who's in that. That guy, he's called Lloyd Richards. But then Lloyd Richards feels like maybe it was like a joint band between Lloyd Sharp and a guy called Richard, maybe.
That's what I was thinking. But the only one I could find is that like keyboard player. You've got there Rick Hartzog.
Yeah.
So is that what it is?
It really feels like it should be like there's 2 Lloyds and 2 Richards. And it's the Lloyd's Richards Band. And that would be I'm going to go ahead and assume that maybe that's a typo there somewhere. But like, again, the guy's called Lloyd Sharp. So where is the Richards come from?
It's got to be Rick Hartzog, right? But then why is he going by Rick?
But maybe they were just really big fans of television. And then they just wanted to... This was their little... or maybe they're just trying to like steal some gigs as well.
Television are a great band, and I think they're a difficult one to sell to people because they're always, they're included with the punk bands because they used to play CBGBs and things like that. But I wouldn't call them a punk band. I don't know what you'd call them. It's sort of art rock. Yeah. I don't know.
They're weirdly a band I always get mixed up with Orange Juice.
Oh, okay.
And I think that's because a formative memory in my childhood is when I spilt over orange juice on top of a television, and my family weren't happy about it.
On top of a television or a television record?
No, on top of an actual television. It was the type of thing you remember when you're a kid. It's a big deal.
I can imagine.
So now just seeing because in that kind of art, that art rock crowd, television and orange juice are always sort of like names that pop up. Yeah. So I always get them mixed up in my head because I think the whole orange television thing is just sort of like a typhoon in my mind.
They're connected. Everything's connected.
Everything is connected.
Now, I mean, listeners, if you haven't heard them, I was about to compare them to another band, but the other band I'm going to compare them to, you're even less likely to have heard, to be honest. There's a punk band called Wire. And I would say maybe the closest connection is between those two, because Wire weren't really punk either.
They're good, though. They're a good
they're
band,
great.
Wire.
I mean, the first album, some of the songs are like 15 seconds long. I think that's why they're punk. But then they deliberately, on the next album, were like, okay, we've done that. All these tracks are going to be 10 minutes. Fuck you. Love it. But the guitar works kind of I don't want to say the same. It's not the same. It's just, I don't know. I think if you like one, you'll like the other.
But here's the thing. Like a question I gotta pull up that, 'cause this episode's going so long.
Oh, I knew it would, because the fucking credits, they're always like brutal.
So I wasn't too sure. Could we get into this next week instead? But I think it might actually go off the screen. Yeah, well, it'll go off the screen by that point.
No.
I Love You. This song.
Thanks.
Where the hell was that in the film? Like, tough. Like, what's the one before they got there? Escape from Miami. Remember that? Love it. Okay. Then I Love You. Buh. And then after that, Tough Guys. Like, oh, of course, remember Tough Guys. The Tough Guys. Yeah, tough guy. Everyone remembers that. I Love You. Where the hell was that song? I don't remember that at all.
Well, I Love You is on the soundtrack. So let me see. Take quickly.
It says vocals, so it's definitely a singing track. Was it in the background of like John and Jane's date, or when they were walking through the quad? Or
Right, you know what? I'm listening to it now. I don't remember it. It sounds like Prince.
This is another thing they cut from the movie, and then just like, oh, leave it in the credits. So it won't confuse anybody.
Right, now I'm really are we idiots? I'm questioning myself now, because I don't remember this one fucking bit.
Do we have to go back to the start of the movie and do it all over again to make sure that we didn't miss this thing?
In fact, I've sent you a Spotify link there for your own listening pleasure, because I don't remember this.
But it's such a generic name as well. Like, it really does feel like, oh, we need like a love theme. And they're just like, whatever. But the fact that there's vocals, unless it's just the guy going like, whoa.
He sings like Prince. It sounds exactly like Prince. And it's credited, this is cheeky, the soundtrack for the movie on Spotify is, every track is credited Angelo Giannotti and Dragon Sound.
Oh, you covert piece of crap, Angelo.
Unless
should
this...
have known you couldn't trust him the way he was acting on that beach. We should never, you can't forget, a guy with that kind of mullet, what's he got on his shoulders that he's trying to hide? That's what I want to know.
Unless these are all fake names.
Yeah, maybe he was going to... Angelo is Lloyd, and he is Richard.
Yeah. That's maybe. Maybe he's every single one of these people. I don't know. Maybe he played every instrument.
It's just weird then that, because we're talking about like the YK Kim sort of like, oh, not taking so much credit. It's just weird then to see I Love You. It's like lyrics by Rick Hartzog, music by Rick Hartzog, keyboards by Rick Hartzog, and then the next thing, Tough Guys, lyrics by Lord Sharp, music by Lord Sharp, vocals, guitar, lead guitar. And keyboard.
That's why I'd love it if they were all actually Angelo.
that would be some Prince stuff as well. To be fair,
yeah.
Like that was Prince's. I think that's what irked, the revolution so much. Was just like, oh yeah, basically like a session band that he took out because he physically couldn't play by himself on the road.
He would if he could.
Yeah, he would have if he had the psychic powers to do it. If he had the telekinesis, he would definitely have done that. But like, yeah, but apparently in the studio. I think we might have talked about it during that first season of Batman when we were talking about Prince all the time. But I have memories of just like hearing that Prince would be like, people would come in and lay down their keyboard track or lay down their bass track, and Prince would be like, yeah, love to see you, bye bye. No, I'm just gonna hang back here for a bit, and then they'd leave, and then he'd just go over and re-record the entire thing himself. Yeah, and I don't know if that was a control freak thing or a quality check thing that he was just like, no, I don't think it was good enough. I know that I'm better than that.
It's that, which is also a control freak thing. Then.
Yeah, and it's just very much just like, so when it comes out as Prince and the Revolution, it's very much, it's Prince. Yeah. It's all Prince, except for, when it's actually live. But yeah. But this other one, a little quieter, Terry Lamb. He pops up every once in a while.
He does.
Those are 3 separate bass players as well.
Because we got like Roxwell Smith.
So we got Escape from Miami, bass by Jeff Pratt, and you heard that name. Yeah, I Love You, bass by Roxwell Smith. Oh no, then Roxwell Smith is on Tough Guys. Mm-hmm. And then who's bass? Oh no, Taekwondo Family also. Like, so hey, what was up with Roxwell Smith that one day? He couldn't come in for Escape from Miami. Or
Well,
maybe
maybe he banged all them out, and then that maybe Escape from Miami was part of reshoots. I'm not doing that.
maybe he banged all of them, and then they just they fell out with them or something.
Well, that too. It was a bit Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah, or that would be very Prince as well. Like, of course, the end credits of Batman in '89 when we covered the song "Scandalous."
Oh,
The long-standing rumor that the uncut version you can hear has a woman's moans, and of course the legend is that that's in fact Kim Basinger, who Prince was shacking up with at the time.
I love the way it's almost definitely not, but I don't want to find that out.
Oh no, I think I'm going to believe that until the day I die. That was 100% Kim Basinger.
It's
and
a Prince thing to do.
Yeah, she was going from passed around that set too, going from like, oh yeah, John Peters, the Prince, to like, and Jack Nicholson was trying to get in there too. Like,
Hey, you go, girl.
Oh yeah, by all means, yeah. But yeah, then we get up to we now left with the mystery of who the hell is Lord Sharp, and why is his name all over all these songs?
Because he's actually a really famous guy. It's Flea. It's like, I don't want to be big-headed. Don't put Flea.
There's some song you find out. Yeah, what is Flea's actual name though? So I feel he's gonna be like.
I think he's called Flea.
I think he would be the type to be like, oh, you can't even get it on Wikipedia. It's like, oh no, Flea's that's hidden. That's erased from the internet. Let's see, and then he gets off, and me having to just type into Google Flea.
He gets an alert every time. Yeah.
He's like, some other idiot. Oh wait, no. Apparently his name is Michael Peter Balzary.
Fake. He's called Roxwell Smith.
Who is also Lloyd Sharp.
Yeah, exactly.
His name is my name too.
Everything's connected.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, that is me all noted out though for this chunk of credits here, and the second to last episode.
Yeah, same. I tried to get some notes on the American Recording Center where they recorded the music, and there was nothing. I think that's made up. I think that's Angelo's bedroom.
It could be. I got redirected to a place called Plush Studios.
I saw that.
But I don't know. Maybe they rebranded. It's such a generic name to call it. Like was the actual thing they call it? Like the
American Recording Center.
The American Recording Center, Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not gonna get much. But then, if it had been Plush Studios, you'd be in the good company of such famous artists as Lil Wayne. Now I believe deceased Aaron Carter, right? Is Aaron Carter dead?
I believe so.
Yeah. Anne Berlin. Anne Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Bad Company. Oh. Justin Bieber.
Oh, hang on. I saw Bad Company live.
Oh.
I'm sure I did. Were they at Rebellion Festival? I think they were. I just walk in and see bands that are apparently famous. I'm like, oh, okay.
Huh?
No. It was Big Country.
Bad Company, Big Country.
Exactly. ADHD, baby. Earlier on, I lost an entire roll of kitchen paper while I was in the middle of using it, and I still haven't found it. It's been 5 hours. I'm not even joking. Where is it? I don't know where it is.
And of course, one of the biggest ones, we've got Nicki Minaj, and then bring it all back to Halloween. Busta Rhymes.
Whoa!
Also recorded in that very studio. The man who, in my mind, truly killed Michael Myers.
And what? For old time's sake, have a drink on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right enough. Yeah, there'll be no drinking game this. Or for the rest of the show, I guess that was we did the last drinking game.
That's why I'm going to give everyone at least one little drink. Have a little drink for Buster.
I just imagine too, like all those bikers, so many of them would have had their shirts off too. Just imagine that.
Yeah.
I think
every one of them have a drink for each biker listed.
I wonder if in the biker gang would they have listed the lady who got her boobs out? Would she have made the cut?
Yeah, she's there. Hootie McBoob. Chesty LaRue.
Yeah. Or Busty Sinclair. Yeah.
I thought it's called a character I made on a game, Chesty LaRue. It was amazing.
I was think that scene mixed up too, the one too with Debbie Pinson. The Debbie Pinson, who was the homecoming queen in high school. Yes, I'm still available. No, he's not.
Well, he's playing the field. It's fine.
Like literally in bed with his wife.
Oh, Jesus Christ. On that note, let's break the connection one more time. Let's do it. Let's head out there on our boats into the Miami Ocean wearing a white blazer. I don't know. I'm trying to think, 80s cokehead kind of thing. Like Grand Theft Auto, Miami, whatever the fuck that's called, Vice City.
Rolled up our blazers sleeves, put on a keyboard tie.
Oh, hell yeah. Absolutely.
And that was the other week too, I was trying to think of cocaine, where someone kept talking about, this guy's like, he's a total railway merchant. After a while, I was like, why do you keep talking about railway merchants? And it meant they were doing rails of coke. I was like, railway merchant. No.
I haven't heard that one before. That's new to me. Yeah. But then I'm not a coke person. Yeah.
Well, neither am I, but like, I know people who are. But I even mentioned it to some of them, and they were like, I've never heard that before. But now it's like, I'm going to use it all the time.
Well, I don't even know how the hell we go from that. Come and speak to us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of them, as usual. Check out our network on Patreon and TeePublic for more excellent, wonderful stuff. And join us again in 1 week's time. We will be back with the finale. Now, there's going to, we'll occasionally throw up a bonus episode, so don't unsubscribe after that, right? But it's the finale of it as a whole, as a whole piece. We'll see you every now and then, people. We'll let you know if we have any other projects on the way. We'll occasionally post some other things in this feed too.
I mean, I meant to mention it earlier when we're talking about Tasmania and all that. Coming up, of course, on our Sleepy Charlie Media Patreon. We do various reviews of this, that, and the other. And upcoming one, me and John were doing probably this weekend sometime, is a review of the Tasmanian classic Young Einstein.
Yeah, that was a movie, allegedly.
Starring everyone's favorite Tasmanian Yahoo series. There is a reason for us to talk about it, but it's a long pitch, so we won't get into it on here. But that will be available if you want to hear us talk about the alleged life of Albert Einstein and his affair with Marie Curie, which I'm pretty sure did not happen in real life.
No, it's all totally true. He invented rock and roll as well.
Yeah, and the at the end shows up friggin' Charles Darwin. Stuff like everyone's like all together at last.
Fucking
Curie,
crazy.
Einstein, Darwin, all in the same room.
It's what we've always wanted. It's like an Avengers.
But no, so we'll have a review of that episode, and then we'll be doing another show of some sort after this.
We might take a little break for a while.
Take a little break for a while, but we might even lay down, if you want to vote for what that next show should be. We're going to lay down some options maybe next week to be like, if you want to come hit us up, which would you like to hear the most? We will collaborate on that list. We will come up with it. So yes, join us again in 1 week for more Miami Minutes. Crazy Dave! Listen to me!